Good morning, students. I hope all of you are able to hear me very clearly and able to view the screen properly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as we have done few units, I would like to tell you, I'll just take 5 minutes to explain you the benefits and the importance of, the DPPs, and I'll just take next 5 minutes. See, the point is that in across all the subjects, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology, those who have biology, the point is that when the most important part for the initial questions to solve is actually DPPs. We take any physics topic also, okay, not only mathematics. What I'm talking about. Suppose you take a topic called motion in a straight line. If you go to motion in a straight line, and if you start getting, if you see these questions are important for what purpose, to have your understanding very clear, to get a realization that your understanding is clear. Okay, so this is the benefit. The first benefit is that these kind of questions are not all are going to come in your entrance examinations. There, one level, I can say is lower than the quality of the questions that are comes in JEE Main, JEE Advanced, and most of the state level engineering entrance examinations. But if all these questions are not done, the fundamentals are not cleared, and then eventually once you start solving problems, then what will happen is that then it is you will find it is relatively more difficult to solve the problems which are up to the quality of the different engineering entrance examinations. That is why it is very important to solve these questions in a very, very meticulously and well articulated manner. Meticulously means what? That I should not miss it. One day or 2 day if it is get missed, then I will cover it up. And articulation means is that you should have a notebook or couple of notebooks per subject where you will, you know, write down all the solutions, and anyway you are uploading it into the online platform so that we have all these things in our records. But the moment you actually keep all these things in the notebooks, what happens is that before your examination, you can just flip through it for the basics, especially for the board examinations. That is why it is extremely important. I strongly believe is that if you prepare, in a daily basis, if you make practice in daily basis, before exam you no need to study at all. That is a strong philosophy, I believe. And second thing is that, and that you have everything very well articulated. You can always open up that, okay, I want to solve this particular question I have done on that day. Let me open this one. And what about the class notes I'm giving? That also you can keep it recorded in your particular folder in your computer or your smartphone, whatever. Once all these DPPs are done, so DPPs how will get? So let me cancel this, Papa. 10 questions all of you are aware of. So similarly, you see that set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5, like this. There are total set 5. So let me go to set 4. Similarly, you'll get these are good quality questions up to the level of your, that fundamentals clearing. After that, once it is done, then what you'll do? Once all these DPPs are done, then our recommendation is that go to the right practice test. And here also, you just do the same thing. Motion in a straight line. So you'll get a practice test here. You go to the right practice test and start solving the problems here. You got the point what I'm talking about. These questions are definitely up to the level of engineering entrance examinations and medical entrance examinations. Definitely. The more you solve this practice test, the more you are comfortable that gaining confidence. Solving DPPs gives you your fundamentals clear. Solving practice test is giving you the confidence. Yes, no problem. I have done so many problems in the practice test in the KonarClasses platform. I can face any question. Give me any question from motion in a straight line. Let me face. For example, if you look into the things what we have covered, about this particular chapter, sequences and series. Go to sequence and series. Those who have complete all the DPPs. Now we go to the practice test. If you go to the practice test, you start getting good quality questions here. You see, if you just spend couple of minutes, then you'll understand the quality of questions. These questions are definitely, very, very important for your engineering entrance examination. Extremely important. And I repeat, the way we have designed this online test platform is absolutely helpful to you to crack any entrance examinations. And if I continue for this discussion for another couple of minutes, so this practice test contains, thousands of questions per topic. So in every topic there are 10 questions. Every time there is a 10 questions. Suppose immediately I give go for one question. I give here a P, then question number 3 is A, question number 4 is C, question number 5 suppose I do not know, question number 6 is A, question number 7 is C, question number 8 is A, question number 9 is D, and question number 10 I do not know. I'm just giving arbitrarily, by the way, but you should do with the due diligence. So then submit paper. Then what you get? Correct answer is 1, non-attempted 2, wrong answer 7, total mark 10, marks scored 1 because 1 got correct, and total time taken to complete the test is 1 minute 17 seconds. Now all these things are getting recorded in your computer system. Can you please mute, because as you are not talking, if it is possible, can you mute it, whoever? Thank you. Then after that, what is a very important step is that what I mentioned, please complete your self-assessment below by choosing appropriate option based on your understanding. So that means, for example, the first question, correct answer is B, but I choose A, means a student can choose that option A. I can assume that you choose it A. Okay. Now, first we are asking that read the question. See, a question can be very easy or moderate or hard, and it varies from student to student. For example, this particular question can be very easy to you, but for some other student it could be hard, or some other student it could be easy, some student it could be moderate. Now based on your understanding, based on your severity level, okay, you should write this is hard or moderate or easy. Why? Because our computer system remembers everything very well, and then it can process that what kind of question the student is actually facing difficulty. If you just appear practice test and do not complete this self-assessment, then we are not able to get enough data from you that why, where is the scope of improvement of yours. The first statement what we are actually taking your feedback is that read the question, and second one we are asking why it got wrong. Okay, we understood a question get wrong because of 4 reasons. First one, did not study relevant theory. Second one, concept was not clear. Third one, it is a silly mistake. And fourth one, did not remember formula. You look into it. When you made a mistake, any question, it actually fall into any of these 4 categories. So then suppose you say, okay, concept was not clear. Then what happens is that computer system remembers for this kind of questions. We know what kind of basic requirement is there, basic requirement required to solve this particular question. So we remember, and it is a login to login basis. When one student is login and giving this feedback, so computer system remembers for his or her login. Second one is that, the question got correct. Correct option is B and your option is also B. So then we are only asking read the question. So you say read the question is easy. So we understood for this kind of question, this is an easy question. Similarly, you complete the self-assessment properly. Suppose it is moderate, silly mistake, question number 4 easy, and did not remember formula. Question number 5, it is hard and concept was not clear. Okay, sorry, here it is different. Question number 5, if you see, read the question, and if you recall, question number 5, we didn't attempt it. Then the question is that why not attempted it? Okay, so we are answering that concept was not clear. Again, all these are getting recorded in the computer system. And then question number 6 is that, here also you can see hard, it was a silly mistake. Question number 7, it is moderate, concept was not clear. Question number 8, very easy, but silly mistake. Question number 9, moderate, did not remember formula. Question number 10, again, the same thing as we didn't attempt it. Read the question, it is easy, but, concept was not clear. So this self-assessment, so all these things, as I said before, that it all get recorded in the computer system. After that, what happens, dear students, is that, there are some latest technologies in computer science called artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we use those technologies, to make sure that that we make a proper analysis of the students. Okay. So keeping, after that you press on submit self-assessment. Once you press on the submit self-assessment, then what happens is that here is a report, here is a statement you get. Your self-assessment submitted successfully. Your self-assessment will help us to guide you for a better preparation in more effective manner. We leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning extensively to make your learning and preparation more effective. Okay, so this is the benefit of having practice test. I repeat, dear students, you note down my statement, and you can later tell me, sir, you said and it worked, or if it doesn't work, then also you say this thing. Is that appearing practice test in once your DPPs are done is extremely effective. You see, the practice test is not a time-bound test. Once the practice test is done, then you should come to the right online examination and appear for the unit test. So here you write, sequences, for example. Then, you go with unit test, sequence and series, set 1. This is a time-bound test. This is a time-bound test. And if you click here, you see that, these are the questions. So it is there are 50 questions, and you need to answer those 50 questions in 100 minutes. And here there is a negative marking, and you can look into the relevant video lectures to understand about the unit test. Once that unit test is done, then we go for the module test. Once the module test is done, we go for the mock test. Once all these things are done with due diligence, then you appear any entrance examination, dear students, which is due in another 1 year, 9 months, or 10 months. Okay, you will clear it, guaranteed. I do not want to make any statement which is not relevant. At the same time, the converse is also true. If all these things are not done with due diligence, difficult to get a great rank. That also is not true. That also you can take a note of my statement. Both are true at the same time. It is impossible to get great rank without doing all these the steps. And at the same time is that if all these steps are done properly with due diligence, definitely no one can stop you to get a great rank. That is for sure. Anyway, all the other features in this online platform that you can go through all the YouTube video demonstrations to understand. But what I will tell you before we start, discussing the rest of the topics of binomial theorem is that please do it with due diligence. As Mahatma Gandhi said, and I also said earlier, our future depends on what we do today. Okay, maybe you have heard this statement several times, okay, so far, but start realizing the value of this statement. It is all depends on you. It all depends in your hand that how you are going to spend your time today and prepare yourself. Yes, during that preparation, during that study, and during the utilization of your time, you need assistance from a great teachers, and there we are there. It will never happen that you asked for a great questions and you didn't get reply. Did you get so far? Anyone? Dear students, could you please reply? Mohor, Disha, Devantu, Srijita. If you ask a question, 24 hours, within 24 hours, resolution has come, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. So this is the due diligence we follow. Always. Despite whatever the work pressure we have. That is where the values come from a coaching institute like KonarClasses. So that why I will always suggest you follow these steps very, very effectively. Anyway, now I'm going to stop sharing this screen and going to share another screen, which is our the digital board, and we will start discussing binomial theorem. But before that, if I understand, dear Sagnik, you properly, that you have couple of doubts. You said, right? Dear Sagnik, you able to hear me? Okay. Uh, I think you said that you have doubts in DPPs. So that's what I said. Uh, anyway, that you can say it later. Uh, But let us start then. Anyone has any question in the DPPs, we can take after the class also. Not a big deal. But we should discuss a new topic called binomial coefficients. Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm able to hear you now. Okay. So what I was telling is that if I hear you clearly, last time you said today in the beginning of the class that you have few doubts in that in the DPPs, right? So what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying is that you can send me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can email me those questions, and it will get resolved before we start our class in the next class, that is on Monday. In fact, by
Okay,
today
sir.
itself, we'll get all your questions get clarified. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Clear. Now
Yes.
let's discuss. Let's continue discussing the topic of binomial theorem. So if you recall, if we just have a quick recall, so far what we have discussed? So far we have discussed the binomial expression, the binomial, expansion, the way we do the binomial expansion. Then we discussed the R plus 1th term, if you recall, dear students. And then we discussed about what are the middle term or middle terms. Okay. I hope you understand the significance of the singular number and singular and plural, the way I said middle term or middle terms, because it depends on the value of n of a plus b power n. Now, today, what we are going to discuss is that the binomial coefficients. That is the next topic, what we are going to discuss now. So, just give me a few seconds so that I can bring the topic here in front of you. Okay, dear students, so if you see the binomial coefficients, you know, before going to discuss about the binomial coefficients, let us understand first that what is the expansion of a plus b power n. Not understand, just recap. If you recap that, the expansion of a plus b power n is something like this. nc0 into a power n plus nc1 into a power n minus 1 into b plus nc2 into a power n minus 2 into b square. so on up to NCN into B power n. And as a symbolic representation, we like this, we write like this, that summation. Now the coefficients NC0, NC1, NC2 up to NCN are known as binomial coefficients in the expansion of A plus B power n. Now the coefficients, that is NC0, NC1, NC2 up to NCN, are known as the binomial coefficients of in the expansion of A plus B power n. Got it now? Clear, dear students?
Yes.
Great. Now, the point is that now we observe the following important points. So what are the important points we are going to discuss is that, if you recall, um, that that when we discussed the permutation and combination, we understood one important thing is that NCR is equal to NCN minus R. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? NCR is equal to NCN minus R. So now, keeping this in mind, that as we know that NCR is equal to NCN minus R, where R is from 0 to n, we conclude that the binomial coefficients in the expansion of A plus B power n, which are equidistant from the beginning and the end, are equal. Understood? What is the meaning of this statement? That binomial coefficient, if you look into that NC0, the value of NC0 is equal to the value of NCN. Correct, na, dear students? Because you find NC0 and NCN both are same. In this case, both are 1, by the way. Before the term NCN, what was the term? It was NCN minus 1 into A into B power n minus 1. Correct, na?
Yes.
What I'm saying is that the value of NC1 is equal to the value of NCN minus 1. From where we are getting? We are getting from this, equation, that NCR is equal to NCN minus R. That equality. What are the binomial coefficients? If we store the binomial coefficient something like this, na? Let me use a different color. Binomial coefficients are something like that: NC0, then NC1. Let me write elaborately for a few steps. NC2, then NC3, then NC4. In that way, you will get a term in between, that is NCR. Correct, na? Then in that way, you will get last term will be what? NCN. So what you will get? NC, 4, NCN minus 4, NCN minus 3. Correct, na? Then what you will get? NCN minus 2, NCN minus 1, and NCN. These are the way the binomial coefficients are distributed from left to right as the expansion goes on. All of you agree?
Yes.
Now, what I'm saying is that there is a formula called, let me use a different color. There is a formula called NCR is equal to NCN minus R. If we apply that formula, the value of NC0 should be what? NCN minus 0, that is NCN, na? These
Yeah.
are equal. Similarly, if we take the value of NC1, the value of NC1 should be value of NCN minus 1.
Yes.
That is, this statement is actually mentioned. That is why, if you look into it, this statement is mentioned that, as we know, let's focus on this particular statement. As we know, NCR equal to NCN minus R for 0 less than equal to R less than equal to N, we conclude that the binomial coefficients in the expansion of A plus B power N, which are equidistant from the beginning and at the end, are equal. Okay, got it? Now you start getting the realization of this statement. So binomial coefficients from the beginning and the end are equal. That means the binomial coefficients related to the first term is equal to the binomial coefficient related to the n plus 1th term. Binomial coefficient related to the second term. You understood what I just said? Binomial coefficient related to the first term is equal to the binomial coefficient related to the n plus 1th term. Binomial coefficient related to the second term is equal to the binomial coefficient related to the you know nth term. Correct? Binomial coefficient related to the n plus 2th term is equal to the binomial coefficient related to the binomial coefficient of nc2 is equal to the n minus 2, like that. I hope all of you got it and I can proceed. Now the second point is also very important. The greatest binomial, so how many binomial coefficients are there? N plus 1 binomial coefficients. Now our target is that, dear students, we want to find that binomial coefficient which is the greatest among all these n plus 1 binomial coefficients. The greatest binomial coefficient in the expansion of a plus b power n is the binomial coefficient of the middle terms. Okay, which means if n is even, there is one greatest binomial coefficient and it is the coefficient of n plus 1 n by 2 plus 1th term in the expansion of a plus b power n, which is equal to ncn by 2, correct or not? All of you got it? If n is odd, sorry, if n is odd, there are two greatest coefficients and these are the coefficients of n plus 1 by 2th term and n plus 3 by 2th term in the expansion of a plus b power n respectively, which are equal to ncn minus 1 by 2 and ncn plus 1 by 2 respectively. And moreover, you will see these two values are equal. Let me give an example, very smallest example. If you look into the expansion of, so when n is even, so for n is even, we can take the example of a plus b power 2, where 2 is even. So if you look into it, it is nc0 into a square plus nc1 into a power 2 minus 1 into b power 1 plus nc2 into, so if I write like this, it is nc0 into a power 2 minus 0 into b power 0, correct or not? If we just recall, just a minute, plus nc1 into a power 2 minus 1 into b power 1, correct? Plus nc2 into a power 2 minus 2 into b power 2, correct? So if you simplify, then what you are going to get? So according to this, what is the greatest term is nc1. Actually, I made a small mistake. Instead of n, I should write 2. Correct. So let me write once, once more. Just a minute. So a plus b power 2, what is that? It is 2c0 into a power 2 minus 0 into b power 0 plus 2c1 into a power 2 minus 1 into b power 1 plus 2c2 into a power 2 minus 2 into b power 2. Correct, na? So according to the statement, so as n is even, there are only one middle term, and the greatest coefficient is 2c1. And we can explore also. If you expand this thing, 2c0 is 1. So it is actually a square plus 2 into a into b plus b square. Correct, no, dear students? So 2 is the maximum. What is the coefficient of a square is 1, na? Coefficient of b square is also 1. So coefficient of AB is 2. So 2 is the greatest. Similarly, if you take the case of where n is odd, example is that a plus b power 3, and you can expand like this thing. So what you'll get? A cube plus 3 into a square into b plus 3 into a into b square plus b cube. Correct? So then what we are getting? We are getting there are two middle terms. Correct? No? There are two middle terms. So and greatest coefficients are these two, 3 and 3, both are equal also. And I just showed you this thing just to replicate the statement what has been mentioned here. I repeat, if n is even, okay, there is one greatest coefficient, and that is the coefficient of n by 2 plus 1th term in the expansion of a plus b power n, which is equal to nc n by 2. If n is odd, there are two greatest coefficients, and these are the coefficients of n plus 1 by 2th term and n plus 3 by 2th term in the expansion of a plus b power n respectively, which are equal to nc n minus 1 by 2 and nc n plus 1 by 2 respectively. And we have seen this, that nc n minus 1 by 2 is equal to nc n plus 1 by 2. To have a more understanding at your own comfort level, you can take other examples also, or you can take these examples what I showed, a plus b power 2 and a plus b power 3, and you can compute and make your understanding more rock solid. Now the next point what I'm going to discuss is that if we apply a equal to 1 and b equal to minus 1 in that expansion of a plus b power n, what we are going to get, dear students? So that we are going to see now. By the way, I'm not repeating every time that whether you understood or not. So if it is not, so please, never hesitate and raise it. Otherwise, I'll proceed and with an assumption that you understood it. If you do not understand, it is your responsibility to stop me and get it clarified. Okay. And because we have that much of maturity by now, if we apply a equal to 1 and b equal to minus 1 in the expansion of a plus b power n, if you look into the expansion of a plus b power n, dear students, this is the expansion of a plus b power n. And in this expansion, if we apply the value of a equal to 1 and b equal to minus 1, then what we are going to get? As if that a1 and b minus 1 you are writing. And finally, what you will get, dear students, you will get something like this. nc0 minus nc1 plus nc2 minus nc3, in that way up to it will go to 0. That means nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4 dot 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 is equal to nc1 plus nc3 plus nc5 dot 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 continues. So it says that this is the mathematical statement what you see. And next one what you are seeing is that is the English statement. What says that? Which replicates the mathematical statement in English statement, like the sum of all even binomial coefficients is equal to the sum of all odd binomial coefficients. Correct? No? Okay, I hope you understood it. Next point, what we can say is that, moreover, if you compute properly as they are same, what we can do is that we can make this thing. So we understood that nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4 is equal to nc1 plus nc2 plus nc1 plus nc3 plus nc5, like that. Now let us apply a equal to 1 and b equal to 1. Correct? Then what will happen? In the left hand side, it will be 1 plus 1 power n, dear students. And right hand side, it will be what? nc0. All will be power n. Na? So plus nc1 plus nc2. In that way, it will continue till ncn minus 1 plus ncn. Correct, dear students? So
Yes.
that implies what? That implies, 2 power n is equal to, I club together, that is nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4. In that way, all the sum of all even binomial coefficients, plus now we are bringing that sum of all odd binomial coefficients. So nc1 plus nc3 plus nc5 plus in that way it continues. So now we just seen that these two are equal, right? The sum of all even binomial coefficients is equal to the sum of all odd binomial coefficients. So that means now let's assume this is x, capital X, suppose. So then what we are going to get? 2 to the power n is equal to x plus x, correct or not, dear students? So from here what we are getting that 2 into x is equal to 2 to the power n. That implies x is equal to 2 to the power n by 2, that is 2 to the power n minus 1. So from here what we can conclude? From here we can conclude is that nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4, and in that way if you continue, that is equal to 2 to the power n minus 1. And that is also equal to the same thing, that nc1 plus nc3 plus nc5, and in that way it continue, that is also equal to 2 to the power n minus 1. Correct, no, dear students?
Yes.
Okay. So then what we conclude? We conclude a very important point is that I just write the theory what we just derived is something like this, that what I just derived, that nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4 dot 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 is equal to nc1 plus nc3 plus dot nc5 plus dot dot dot. That is equal to 2 to the power n minus 1. Now the another point what I would like to discuss, dear students, is that if for n greater than 1, what we can say is that you know that nc1 minus 2 into nc2 plus 3 into nc3, so that you can establish later by your own. But remember this particular observation is that, and you need to apply in the numerical properly. For n greater than 1, that nc1 minus 2 into nc2 plus 3 into nc3 minus minus plus is continuous. So last term will be minus 1 power n minus 1 into n into ncn, that is equal to 0. Now, dear students, we are going to discuss a very important point, and that is mainly important for JEE main and advanced. But before we leave this particular topic of the binomial coefficients, let me tell you that this thing, that nc0 plus nc2 plus nc4 is equal to nc1 plus nc3 plus nc5 and so on is equal to 2 to the power n minus 1 is a very important observation where you need to apply in several problems henceforth. That is number one. And number two is that the when the value of nc0 plus nc, sum of all the binomial coefficients, okay, is equal to 2 to the power n. Second one and third one, you just see that nc1 minus 2 into nc2 plus 3 into nc3, in that way continue. Last term is minus 1 power n minus 1 into n into ncn equal to 0. Third point. And fourth point is that the among all these n plus 1 binomial coefficients, which one is the greatest? As we just learned, it is the coefficient related to the middle term or middle terms is the greatest. Is or are the greatest. Correct? These are the four important points which you need to memorize completely in your mind, that which you can apply while solving related problems later. Now what we are going to discuss is that very important point, and as I just said a minute back, it is important for JEE main and JEE advanced kind of stuff. What is that? That is called the greatest term in the binomial expansion. Okay, so just give me a second. So, dear students, let me tell you the the expansion of a plus b power n. If you recall that the expansion of a plus b power n, in fact, that I can bring it from here. Just a minute. This is the expansion of a plus b power n, dear students. Now, if you observe that, the expansion of that a plus b power n, there are n plus 1 terms. Now, we are going to find which among these n plus 1 is the greatest term or greatest terms. That we'll see later. That singular plural that we can discuss later. Earlier, what we discussed about which one is the greatest coefficient. Means only that NC0, NC1, NC2 up to NCN. But here it is, along with those, we need to multiply the A proper power and B proper power. So for example, if we say, can we say that NCR A power n minus R into B power R is the greatest one? If it is, then how to find that one? How to find which among all these n plus 1 terms is the greatest one? It depends on several factors. It depends on the value of n, it depends on the value of A, and it depends on the value of B as well, isn't it, dear students? Because greatest term means there A and B are also involved. Correct? So how to find that one? How to find the greatest terms? And the way I teach my lecture pattern is that step-by-step process. Suppose you get a question in JEE Main or JEE Advanced or BITSAT or Karnataka CET or other state level engineering entrance examination, where you need to find a greatest term or greatest terms of the binomial expansion of a plus b power n. What are the steps you should follow? That I am going to tell you now. The first step you should follow, dear student, is that we need to make this you need to express that a plus b power n in in some little different form. Let me show you what is that for. The first and foremost thing, dear students, is that we should write that a plus b power n is equal to a power n, we take common, then 1 plus b by a power n. I hope all of you got it. If it is not, I can use a different color to explain you. So what is a plus b power n? A plus b power n is completely given. Na? So what I am doing here is that I am writing all these things in the second bracket and power n. Inside it will be a plus b. Na? So I take a common. Then 1 plus b by a, na, dear students.
Yes.
So now a into 1 plus b by a power n, that means equal to a power n into 1 plus b by a power n. That's what I have written here. Look into it. That is a step. Express a plus b power n as a power n into 1 plus b by a power n. Then second one is that which is equal to n plus 1 into mod of b by a by 1 plus mod of b by a. Mod means what? You will take the non-negative value of b by a. That is a simple term. You do not know, na? A and B could be either both positive, one negative, or both negative. You do not know, na? So that is why you take B by A, okay, and take its mod value. So what we are going to find? We are going to find a value M which is equal to n plus 1 into mod of b by a by 1 plus mod of b by a. Then third step. Here we are going to discuss that which term is the greatest term. That is driven by, that decision is driven by the value of m, the kind of value of m, the type of value of m. What is that? Third step. If m is not an integer, you can get either m an integer or not an integer, correct or not, dear students? If m is not an integer, then there exists exactly one greatest term, and it is the k plus 1th term in the expansion of a power n into 1 plus b by a power n, where is the k is the greatest integer less than equal to m. Let me give you a little bit of the, a little bit more elaborative of expressing this thing. Suppose you found the value of m is equal to what? Suppose you get the value of m is equal to 2.4. Suppose. Possible? When m is not an integer. So integer, not integer means what? It is a real number, na, dear students? A real number, what you get is that m equal to 2.4. Then we can conclude that there is exactly one greatest term, and it is the k plus 1th term. Then what is that new k? K is nothing but the greatest integer less than equal to m. Tell me, dear students, if 2.4 is the real number, what is the greatest integer less than equal to 2.4? It is a 2. Correct or not? So here k is equal to 2. Our term will be what? 2 plus 1th term. That is the third term. So that means that we get that third term is the greatest term in context to the example what I gave. Correct? Suppose in other way you can say, suppose you get the value m is equal to 11.32. So what is the greatest integer less than equal to 11.32? It is 11. Then what will be our term? It is the 11 plus 1, 12th term. You can say, okay, 12th term is the greatest term. How quickly you are answering, dear students? And you are able to answer that quickly because of only one reason, that you are following the steps. Now let's come to the next one. If m is an integer. Now first we discussed when m is not an integer. Now if we get m is an integer, then there are two greatest terms. It is the mth term and m plus 1th term in the expansion of a power n into 1 plus b by a power n. Correct, my dear students? Got it?
Yes.
So, suppose, in context to the example, what I can say, suppose you get m is equal to 8. M is an integer. So, you can say there are two greatest terms. One is that 8th term, okay, and 9th term. 8 plus 1, that is 9th term. And you know how to find a r plus 1th term. 8th term means what you should write? 8th term means you should write 7 plus 1th term. Right? Then you know how to find it out, correct?
What?
Okay. Let me repeat once more. How to find the greatest term of a of a binomial expansion. So following are the steps to be followed to find greatest terms in the expansion of a plus b power n, where a and b belongs to R and n belongs to capital N, the set of natural numbers. The first and foremost thing, dear students, you should express a plus b power n as a power n into 1 plus b by a power n. That is the first step that you can always do, whatever the values is have been given. After that, the most important step is to find the value of m. Why it is most important? Because depending on the type of the value of m, you are going to take a decision later. So what is the value of m? Value of m is equal to n plus 1 into mod of b by a divided by 1 plus mod of b by a. as you see it here. Once you get that value of m, now you decide whether m is an integer or not an integer. If m is not an integer, that means it is a real number. Then we can conclude there exists exactly one greatest term, and it is the k plus 1th term, where k is the greatest integer less than equal to m. As an example, as I said, if we get the value of m is equal to 2.4, then we get the value of k, which is the greatest integer less than equal to 2.4 is 2. So our greatest term in the expansion of a plus b power n should be 2 plus 1th term, that is third term. Now, if m is an integer, okay, then we can conclude there are two greatest terms, and it is the mth term and m plus 1th term. Correct? So, if m is equal to 8, for example, then we can say that, oh, there are two greatest terms. One is the 8th term, and the second one is the 9th term. Clear, na, dear students? In our next class, we'll make more practice from here. And so what I'm going to do now is that I would like to, conclude the class. But before that, I just want to give you some useful expansion. Okay, that is the last point for today. In the next class, we will do more practice from whatever we have done, and I will also give you the relevant DPPs. So now let me give you some useful, expansions and how you can, and I'll tell you its importance. Okay, so here it is. You are going to get that note in another few seconds, and you can always, explore after the class to find how it is. A plus b power n plus a minus b power n is equal to 2 into nc0 into a power n plus nc2 into a power n minus 2 into b square plus nc4 into a power n minus 4 into b power 4, and so on. A plus b power n minus, yeah, anyone is saying something? Okay, okay, this is the first one. Second one is that a plus b power n minus a minus b power n is equal to 2 into nc1 into a power n into b plus nc3 into a power n minus 3 into b power 3 plus nc5 into a power n minus 5 into b power 5. Now, it's just special cases is that if you replace a by 1 and b by x, we are going to get the next two expansion. Okay. Clear, dear students? And one important point, and this thing you can always find it out, that n into 1 plus x power n minus 1. And the last one, you see here, I actually give the expansion, in terms of the definite integration, as you see here, that integration 0 to x 1 plus t power n dt. This one. Integration 0 to x 1 plus t power n dt, that is equal to nc0 into x plus nc1 into x square by 2 plus nc2 into x cube by 3 plus dot 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 plus ncn into x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Okay. We will see it later. If you want to know about the proof, we will see it later. But this is very important. We will see some examples where we need to apply the concept of definite integral to achieve that one. We will see it. In fact, if you expand 1 plus t power n, you know the binomial expansion. After that, you also know the integration. You do individual integration, you will get it. With this note, dear students, I would like to conclude the class for today. Dear Sagnik and others, those who have any difficulty, those who have concern and questions on some of the questions from the DPPs, please do point me immediately after the class, and I will make sure that you will get your response by today. So, unless you have any specific comments for me or any question, I would like to conclude the class for today. As an assignment, you should do the next two DPPs. Okay, before we start our class on Monday. Correct? All right. Thank you very much, dear students.